Hello, esteemed viewers. So, in today's lesson, we are going to talk about Albert Bandura's theory of child development. So, who was Albert Bandura? Albert Bandura, he was a Canadian-American psychologist who was born in the year 1925 and later died in the year 2021, and he was one of the most influential educational psychologists. He developed social learning theory, which was later known as social cognitive theory. So as per now, it is the social cognitive theory. And Albert, he believed that children learn by observing others, and he introduced the concept of self-efficacy. Bandura's theory of child development. Bandura believed that child development occurs through interaction between personal factors, those are the thoughts and beliefs, with the interactions between behaviors, the environment in which the child is, and that children learn by observing others, looking at something when they observe this thing, by imitating, by practicing, receiving, and also by receiving feedback. Children learn not only by doing, but by also watching other people. So, observational learning, that is modeling. Children learn by observing. Parents, teachers, the children learn by observing the parents, the teachers, the friends, siblings, community members. Even as they watch television and social media, the children observe these things, and that is how that leads to their behaviors of how they can become their cognitive behaviors, right? So for example, let's say a child, you're in class, or as you're a student in class, this student observes and sees that a child is being like or let's say a teacher, every time, or a parent, every time a parent receives something, this child notices, observes that the parent always says thank you. The child, like such kinds of those kind of polite words. So the child, after observing, he or she will also start doing that. Whenever she or he receives something, she will be like, thank you, welcome, so such kinds of words. So that is the observational learning. Then we have the processes of observational learning. Bandura explained that learning involves 4 stages, and the first stage is attention. The child notices the behavior. Like the child will notice today, mother has said thank you. The child will notice that once a child has raised her hand and answered a question, the teacher says thank you. That is attention. Then retention. The child remembers what was observed. So the child is alone somewhere and he or she receives something. Then retention. He or she will remember the teacher could say thank you, right? Then reproduction. That is the third stage. And in reproduction, the child practices the behavior. After the child has remembered, she or he will practice the behavior. So after he or she receives something, she will say thank you. And now then we have motivation. The child continues if there is encouragement or reward. So let's start. First of all, the child notices the behavior, notices that the teacher always says thank you. Then the child remembers it. Then when the child is in a situation where he or she receives something, she remembers. Then she starts practicing and she says thank you. Then the person who she says thank you to, he or she says welcome, or something like that. There is motivation. Or after she says welcome, or after a parent or a teacher notices that, the teacher will be like, that is very nice, that is very good. There is motivation. So those are the 4 processes of observable learning. This is one of the principles of Bandura's, the observational learning, that is modeling. Then we have reinforcement. Bandura believed reinforcement increases the likelihood of repeating behavior, right? So we have the direct reinforcement. The child is rewarded personally. There is, after something has done, the child has done well, or the child has said thank you, then welcome. The child is being rewarded personally, or the child is being motivated, or he's given maybe, let's say, something, a sweet or something, right? That is the direct reinforcement. Then we have the vicarious reinforcement. What is the vicarious reinforcement? The child observes someone else being rewarded. Or in class, the child notices this child has raised a hand, and after he or she has given an answer, the teacher praises the child, the direct reinforcement, or the teacher rewards the student with something. So this vicarious reinforcement, the other child, after observing this, he or she will be she will be compelled also to start answering questions. So that is the vicarious reinforcement. So he believed reinforcement increases the likelihood of repeating behavior. Then we have the self-efficacy. What is self-efficacy? Self-efficacy is a personal belief in their ability to succeed. Like, you have the belief that you're going to succeed. No matter what happens, you believe it in yourself. Personally, you believe, I will do this. No matter what comes my way, I will do this. There is self-efficacy. So children with high self-efficacy, they try challenging tasks. They just try them. They don't look at something and they will be like, no, I can't do this. No, children with high self-efficacy will do the challenge. She or he will not see that as she will see that as a challenge, and he or she will venture into it so that he or she can solve it. They work harder. That is true. When you have self-efficacy, you want to prove it to yourself that you can really do it, so you will work harder, and they persist during difficulties, building resilience. And they learn from mistakes. There are those people, after they have made a mistake, they don't just let it, or when they fall down, they just want to be left there so that they are carried. No, they learn from mistakes and work harder, and they become more confident as time goes by. Then we have the Bobo doll experiment. What was the aim of this Bobo doll experiment by Albert Bandura? Its aim was to determine whether children imitate aggressive behavior, whether children look at the aggressive behavior and do exactly as that person or such a person does, right? So children, what was the procedure here? The children watched adults behaving aggressively towards Bobo doll, and another group watched a calm adult. And in the findings, children exposed to aggressive behavior were more likely to imitate it. So those were the findings. So in conclusion to it, children learn behavior by observing role models. So if you're a good role model, the child becomes good, right? That is according to Albert Bandura. But if you're an aggressive parent, or if you're an aggressive teacher, the child observes that and he or she imitates that kind of behavior. Then what are the education implications of Albert Bandura's? We have the teachers should model good behavior, demonstrate skills clearly, praise positive behaviors, encourage teamwork, build learning confidence, provide positive role models. And parents should also demonstrate good role morals, supervise media exposure and encourage positive habits. And the strengths of Albert Bandura's theory, it supported research. It helped in research, right? It explains the social behavior, like why is this child so happy when interacting? Why is this other one so sad? So it explains the social behaviors, and it emphasizes on the importance of role model, and it's also applicable in education, in parenting, and also in counseling. And it also encourages confidence and motivation. And the limitations, it ignores some biological influences, because Bandura says a child's behavior, it comes from observing, imitating, and motivation, right? So it ignores the biological influences. Children do not always imitate what they observe. It doesn't explain like why in a family, why then do we have children behaving differently. It does not. So children don't always imitate what they observe, and individual personalities also affect behaviors, and learning may occur without observation. So in conclusion, Albert Bandura, he believed that learning occurs through observation. Children imitate important role models, reinforcement influences behavior, social efficacy improves learning, and parents and teachers shape child development. And one of the quotes he said was, people learn from one another through observation, imitation, and modeling. Otherwise, that is all for today. I hope you have heard something.